One more time. All right, now we're rolling. Brian, take it away.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian. I am the program manager for the Made in Baltimore program. We are a program of the Baltimore Development Corporation, which is one of the city's leading organizations in small business development. Today, we are here for the Tools of the Trade workshop series, and today's topic is how to use Instagram for your business. And we have one of the most amazing people that I know in Baltimore, Alicia January, giving us a very comprehensive and very interesting workshop on this subject. So if you are welcome to cut your camera on, if you would like, we would love to see your beautiful faces. I just ask that you stay muted so that way we don't have any interruptions. If you have any questions throughout the chat, we want to see them and we would love to respond to them. So please put them into the chat and we will get to them during the allotted question and answer periods. Again, please turn your camera on if you would like to. Please stay muted unless there is a specific period for questions and answers. Any questions that you have outside of those times, please put them in the chat and I will hand this over to Alicia so that way we can get started. Also, we are recording. After this workshop is done, it will be uploaded to YouTube and then later to our website. I encourage you all to sign up for our mailing list if you already have not, so that way you can get access to it. All right. It's all you, Alicia.
Awesome. Okay, let's try to share my screen. Share. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, can you guys hear me? Oh. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Here we go. Okay, so yes, thank you. Welcome to Tools of the Trade. I want to thank Made in Baltimore for hosting, and I want to thank each of you for coming to this today because there's so many other things that you could be doing, but you decided to be here, and I really appreciate that. My name is Alicia January. I wear a lot of different hats, like I'm sure a lot of you do. But I work for Charles Street Development Corporation as the marketing management manager in engagement. It's where I really work with large and small stakeholders within the Charles Street corridor. So anything from marketing all the way to helping them with grants. I'm the person that they reach out to help them along with that process. I also have an Instagram page that is a blog that's also now a business called Discover Charm City. It's really just a page where I highlight small businesses and my lifestyle in Baltimore and beyond. And I host gal pal events where I curate spaces that are safe for women to come together to build community in Baltimore. And hopefully one day that it will expand. And then moving forward, I'm now entering into coaching, and I'm an activation coach that really helps people and businesses discover their own charm. So that's who I am, and enough about me. I really want to get to know who is on the call. So I would love if everyone would introduce themselves by giving their name, the name of their business, and why you decided to join today. Oops. Oops. Sorry.
I was about to say, in order to break the ice, I'll start myself to bring us in. My name is Brian Seymour. I am the program manager for Made in Baltimore. I am very interested in this workshop today because myself, I run my own painting practice, and I am interested in how to optimize my own Instagram to better present my work. So I would love to hear from you guys too.
Is there a way for me to still see faces while I'm doing the presentation or no?
They should display across the top of your screen, but that's usually a setting that you have to select.
Okay.
There's a setting up there that says view everybody, like at the very top. It's like click everybody or who's talking. You see it?
So when I share my screen, it immediately goes to my full presentation, but it's okay. I'll just listen.
I'll go next since I'm unmuted. Hi, I'm Susan Clayton. I'm the owner and inventor of White Paws Run Mitts. It's a mitten invented and designed for runners, walkers, and outdoor sports enthusiasts. I just need to do better on Instagram, and I see that you always do like there, so I'm not as fluent in the social media aspect, and I thought that this would be a great class to help me do that a little bit.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sean. I'm an economic development officer for the Baltimore Development Corporation, here to support Made in Baltimore, but also businesses come to me all the time asking for social media advice and things like that, and I want to be better at it. Popcorn, Andrew at Bent Coffee Roasters.
Thanks, Sean. I'm here at Vent Coffee Roasters, as Sean mentioned, and we use social media to try to let people know what's going on. We try to use it as a way for people to get to know us better. I always see people doing stuff and sharing things on Instagram, and I always feel like I'm a little bit behind on different features, and sometimes I feel like I'm just kind of posting things randomly and hoping to have a little bit more of a strategy. So I'm really excited about learning more about it today.
Is there anyone else?
I'll go. Hello, everyone. My name is Lakeisha. I'm the owner of Kiki's Cuisine, and I need to be more intentional with my social media posts. So whenever there's an offering from Made in Baltimore, I try to make myself available so that I could get those tips of the trade. So I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for coming, Lakeisha. I'll just call on names so that it's easy to go through. I see Liam at the top of my list. Liam, are you there? You'll need to unmute yourself. Okay, next. Liam, we'll come back to you. I see Kendra as the next on my list.
Hi, everyone. Hope you can hear me. I'm Kendra. My Instagram is at the Charm City Maiden, formerly the Charm City Mom. I'm trying to get into the lifestyle influencer space, much like Alicia, just talking about Baltimore. I'm a Baltimore native. That's primarily my interest in this webinar.
Thanks for coming, Kendra. Appreciate it. And I see Liam is having some technical difficulties, but dropped his intro in the chat, so thanks for that. Next on the list, I see Dina.
Hi there. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
What was the question was my business. By the way, I'm not in Baltimore. I'm originally from Baltimore. I'm in DC, so I'm crashing your Baltimore party, I guess. And so I'm a realtor. I love Baltimore still, but I don't live there anymore. I sell real estate in DC, and I guess I'm on your mailing list or something. I found out about this, I am terrible at Instagram and I want to be better. I really liked that this was an hour because I can't really handle much more than that. And so that's what that's why I signed up. I really just want like an intro, and when it gets too complicated, then I don't do any of it. So I
Well,
hope to learn that.
hopefully Alicia can decomplicate it for you a little bit.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Dina. Next, I see on the list Tonya.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tanya Taylor. I'm sorry, I disabled my camera by mistake, but I'm kind of like trying to multitask, so please forgive me. I'm trying to work, and so I'm here because I just assumed the role for my sorority as the epistolius of PR and marketing. I'm very well versed with Facebook, but Instagram and I know how to post pictures, I know how to hashtag and all that wonderful stuff, but I'm just trying to gain more skills in how to make it more, to put our sorority and brand out there, and you know what I mean. I'm just trying to improve upon what I already know. So it's nice seeing you guys, and I look forward to learning so much.
Thank you for joining us, Tanya. Appreciate it. And good luck with the multitasking. I know how it is. Next on the list, I see Lynette. Good to see you, Lynette. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, hi. Good to see you too. Yeah, the same. I mean, my goals are to increase my social media following. I see a lot of people doing a lot of, creative things with their Instagram in terms of, the giveaways and stuff like that. And so I just want to be able to kind of know those things. We recently started doing this Instagram live thing, and we have botched it up so much. We've done like 6 of them, and we've lost 2 of them altogether. And so, yeah, just to be able to be comfortable doing these things, to increase the following, but just to also bring more brand awareness to Couples Tea. So, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Hopefully this will help with that initiative. Okay, next on the list, I see Bettina.
Hi everyone, I'm Bettina. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble getting my camera working as well. I have some kind of conflicting app thing happening on my computer, but I have Charmington Holistics, and I'm make a line of alcohol-free herbal extractions with superfoods added to them. And I'm actually sitting in our shop, which is opening tomorrow over in Highlandtown. And we have like a selection of bulk herbs, and then we of course have our in-house line of tonics, and we have a couple of other like holistic herbal goodies. So we're super excited about that, and I definitely need to learn how to use Instagram so much better. I'm just surely lazy at it, and really looking forward to learning some tricks. So thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us, Bettina, and great to hear from you. It's been a minute since we saw you at the store a couple years ago. But congrats, that's really exciting that you're opening up a new spot. Next on the list, I see Katie Truitt.
Hi, I'm excited to be here. So I run the social media account for United Way of Central Maryland, and I kind of fell into that role. I'm an event planner, and with being a charity, we don't have a lot of resources to bring in a full-time social media person. So it's been a lot of learning on the fly. We've really wanted to ramp up our Instagram presence. We've tried to use stories to get our engagement going, with the use of like donation stickers and questions. And, our biggest goal is to kind of get our engagement up, whether it be through commenting or interacting with our stories, or, just kind of starting those conversations a little bit more, and instead of just screaming into the void, if that makes sense. So.
Well, we're happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. And I see we just had one more person sign on, Libby Francis. Libby, everyone's going around and introducing themselves, name, their company, and what interested them about the workshop today.
Hi, folks. Yeah, I am Libby from the Modest Florist Flower Shop on the Avenue in Hampton. And yeah, basically, I'm really interested in kind of just upping my Instagram numbers. Obviously, flowers are a very visual product, and it seems to me like this is really, kind of the way of the future of communicating with customers. And hope to learn a whole lot here.
I think that's everyone. Did we miss anybody? If not, back to you, Alicia.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I know some of the businesses that are on the line, so it's exciting to see you guys here. But moving into the presentation, this topic is very broad, and some of you are just starting with Instagram, and others might be a little bit more advanced. So throughout the presentation, please feel free to write your questions down because I will be stopping and we'll have moments to have discussions. So if you have a question, just write those. But before really any of this, branding is really important. So if you have not thought about branding for your business or your Instagram or what's that's going to look like, the strategy for that, Made in Baltimore has already had some wonderful workshops happen before that you can check out, and one in particular, brand visuals, that will help you get started with your branding. So the first thing that really has to happen is you need to make sure that you actually, this is the agenda, everything that we're going through, and really need to make sure that you have an Instagram business account set up. And the way to do this is right here. So I'm not sure who has an Instagram business account, or if you're still using kind of a personal account, but it's your business, I would highly suggest that you switch over to a Instagram business account. And by switching over, this gives you these built-in insights that really will help you with your performance on social media, because you'll be able to look at the reach and engagement for each post and kind of narrow down who your target audience is. And this is super important to check. You don't just do it once, you're going to do it multiple times to make sure that you're still on track for whatever your goals are for your company.
Can I just ask, can everyone see Alicia's screen right now? No, looks like not. Alicia, can we
No?
check your screen again?
Let's see. Okay, how about now? Can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is the agenda for today. It's a lot jammed into this hour, but hopefully we make it through. So please write your questions, and then we'll circle back to those. The first thing is making sure you have your business account, like I said, set up. This website at the bottom, you can check there, and it gives you full-on directions on how to set up your business account. Okay, so once you've set up your business account, you'll want to activate and get your bio looking really good. And your bio needs to be awesome because it needs to grab folks' attention and give them the information they need. Think of your IG bio as really your homepage. A lot of people are checking Instagram first before they're heading over to a business's website. So your Instagram really needs to be a place that gives you a really good first impression for your potential clients or the people that you're trying to serve. So really, what you want to think about is what makes you you, and that your bio is pretty much your elevator pitch. And you want to keep it short because Instagram only gives you 150 characters to summarize your company. So the best way to do that is really honing in and thinking about, like, what does your business do, or what do you do? And have fun with it. You want to show your personality, so using things like emojis or hashtags are really, really fun and makes you stick out from everyone else. And when you want to optimize your profile, the things that you want to remember are on this checklist. In your Instagram bio is the first impression, like I said before, for potential customers. And this is a lot of times the first time they're seeing your brand, and you want to make it good. You want them to follow and to engage with you. So on the checklist, the first thing is your name. So we're not just talking about the name, like your Instagram handle. We are talking about your actual business name. You want to make sure that's in your bio, because when people are, trying to search your company on Instagram, a lot of times your Instagram handle might be different from what your actual company name is. You want to make sure that that is clearly in your bio. And then you want to list your skills. So again, going back and thinking about what does your business do, what makes you unique, and find those keywords and use them. And you want to make sure you have your website linked. I cannot tell you how many times I've worked with brands and they didn't even have their website linked in their bio. And now there are different ways that you can do this. So you could either just have your website linked, or you could use something like a link tree that allows you to have multiple links under one kind of like website. And then, making sure you have your contact info. And with the contact info, that's typically either your email or your phone number, or you can do both. But you want to make sure whatever information that you give for people to contact you, that it's up to date and it's something that you're actually going to check. Because the worst thing is that you have a new client or a new customer come to you and they're trying to reach out to you and they don't hear back from you. Again, using emojis is just a fun way to lighten it up and to break up all of the wording that's going to be in the bio. And then having your branded hashtag in your bio as well is a great idea, because when people click on that hashtag, they'll be able to see all of the different people who are using your product, how they're using it, what they've liked about it. And it's an easy way for people to know how to tag your product when they use it. Another thing that some people do, it's not necessary, but if you want to get fancy, you can also change the font. And by doing that, it's an easy app that you can download. There's plenty of them out there, and you can change your actual font in your Instagram bio and in your Instagram post. And then the line breaks, that really just speaks about not having just a huge paragraph of 150 characters. You want to break it up, because when people go to your page, you want them to be able to read quick, fast little statements about your business. And then, of course, your address and hours. Especially during COVID, you want to make sure your hours are always up to date if they're changing, because a lot of times Instagram's the first place people will check to know what's going on with your business. On this slide, I really just picked 4 businesses that I thought had really great Instagram bios. And I'll just start with Oyen Handmade. I think that they're actually even a part of Made in Baltimore. I just love that their bio clearly states the name of their business, which is Oyen Handmade. And then under there, they have what they are. They are a health and beauty business. And the use of hashtags are awesome. And they really, again, tell what they do, how they do it, where you can find them. They even give you the hashtag to use, and they've linked their website. Right? And then if you go over to Sunset Raw Juice, same thing. They use tons of emojis. They tell you all of their locations and how to find them. Fishnet, same thing. And really with the hours, because they're a restaurant, they are constantly changing because of new regulations that are happening. And this is where their customers can find out all of the information with ease. They also add a little bit of personality with just saying like from net to the table, rather than, just saying, oh, I'm a seafood restaurant. And then with Bushlers, same thing. They list out all of their skills and what they do. You can see that all are welcome, that it is appointment only, and even added in that they're Black owned and that they're a local tailor. So have the link there for you to book your appointments. And the bio is very clear. precise, and you know exactly what's going on. And so then when you're going a little bit deeper into what all of this means, you want to think about the why. Like, what is the vibe of your Instagram page going to be? Because you have to think about that. And what type of content do you want to post? What feelings do you want to evoke from your audience when they engage with you or your business? And really, engagement is everything. It is what is going to get people to follow your page, to then interact with you, to then buy whatever it is that you're trying to sell. So, you know, what are the feelings that you want to evoke from your audience? And right now we're going to take a 1 minute. I'm going to set my timer, and you really need to like answer that question of what is it that you want to evoke from your audience. And then this doesn't have to be polished. It can be raw, just whatever the first things that come to your mind are. And then I'll ask a few people to share. So I will go ahead and set the timer for a minute. And yeah, so please just write down those answers, and then we'll circle back and some people can share. Okay, about 30 more seconds. Okay. And I was trying to figure out how to share my screen, well, how I can see you guys and also share my screen, but we'll just do it like this. So does anyone want to share like what feelings do you really want to evoke from your audience when they come to your Instagram page?
I can go ahead real quick. As a charity, we obviously try to inspire people to, you know, give to us or volunteer with us, but we are also very multifaceted in that we also have affinity groups, you know, for young professionals or women that we want to, you know, inspire them to join our affinity groups or attend events that we might be hosting, like speaker series, or now, you know, obviously these virtual events. So our goal is changing, but we also want to ensure that our grid still looks the same and has that same, you know, look throughout. So it's always a little bit challenging to make sure we're kind of hitting all these different facets, but also remaining with the same kind of look.
Okay. Anyone else?
I was just saying that I want people when they see my pictures, I want them to imagine, you know, what they're seeing and kind of engage with what they're seeing. I want them to smell the tea, you know, of the pictures of the tea. I want them to want to have this extrasensory experience so that they go right to the website and purchase.
Awesome. Yeah, so I mean, when you're thinking of, does anyone else want to share?
I can share. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
So as a realtor, you know, I think people come at us with their preconceptions. And so for mine, I want to show approachability and confidence and like that I have your back, because I just want to counter what people might already assume about real estate agents.
Okay.
Go for it, Andrew.
We at Vent, we're always, obviously about high quality coffee, but the message that we really want to get across is being a welcoming environment, a place where people can open up and vent and be themselves. So trying to balance that, like, here's this nice looking coffee, but not showing it in like a coffee snob kind of way. And I'm just really focusing on being like warm and inviting. So trying to balance those things.
Awesome. I will show an example later, but my example with a brand that recently has changed up their Instagram, and I think really speaks to evoking some type of emotion, is Under Armour's women's page. And I have an example I'll show you. But the thing about that page that I get, and I asked a bunch of my girlfriends because I wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one that felt this way, was that, when you see that page, I instantly feel strong, I instantly feel worthy, and I instantly feel seen. And the reasons behind that is because they're showing how to use the product, which immediately makes you want to get up and exercise or do something active, which is basically what you're saying with couples tea. You want people to see the tea and think, I need some tea. I want to drink some. So then, like with the customer service aspect of it, if I have a question about anything that they're posting, they have someone that reaches back out like pretty fast to say, oh, well, yeah, I can tell you about those pants, or I can tell you about that bra, or even with the coffee, like if they have a question about, oh, I'm nervous about drinking coffee or coming in and ordering, they should feel comfortable to ask those questions on your page, which is what, you want people to do. Same thing with the real estate. And then they're reaching a specific audience. I see myself, and so I know that they're talking to me. So let me go back to this. So every time you're trying to think about what does your feed need to look like, always think about those emotions and what you want your audience to feel. And that can help guide you into what you're going to be posting on your feed and in your stories and your highlights and all the other features that Instagram has to offer. And I don't want to overwhelm you with all of the features that are now available for everyone. But also when you're thinking about, so now that you know what type of feeling you want to evoke, you need to narrow down those goals for your audience and for your page. And with that, this is just a list. I mean, there's so many goals that are out there, but this is a list for you to consider, and you can go through and think about, like, what are those 3 things I really want my page to be kind of known for. So if I had to guess with that Under Armour page, it would be that they're promoting their product, 1, their customer service. So if I have a question, someone is available to answer that question and respond back to me, which then increases their their engagement. And then they're trying to reach a specific audience. Those are their 3 goals. And to me, they hit that on the nail. So when you think about what are those 3 goals for your business that you want your Instagram page to be all about? So once you decide on what those goals are, then you can decide what kind of content you're going to post about, which then will allow you to really start thinking about who is that audience. And the way to find that is doing an inventory of your existing customers. And by doing that, it's really easy. You're just going to be looking at all of the other places that you have people that either like follow you, support you, come to your events, they buy your products, whatever. You're going to look at those people and really think about who are they, which means, like, where do they live? What's their age range? What sex are they? anything that you can think of that can help you narrow down this target audience. And then from there, you're going to look at who interacts with you on social media. So if you're just starting your Instagram page, then you might want to look at like your Facebook page, or look at your blog and look at the audience that's already interacting with you. So then you can decide, kind of look at the analytics for that. And looking at analytics on your business account is pretty easy. You're just going to click on the Insights tab, and everything is there for you you can look at individual posts, you can look at your posts from over the week, and you can kind of see who is already following you. That was the best way for me to understand who was following me on Instagram on my Discover Charm City page, was then help me tailor to decide which way to pivot, if I wanted to keep that audience or if I wanted to add in a new demographic. And so that's how you can do that as well. And then you want to check your competitors. With your competitors, your audience probably overlaps with your competitors, and that's totally fine. But you want to look and be very honest with, how is your competitor doing? Like, what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses? And also be honest with yourself about your own social media. Like, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses, and where can you do better? And the only way you can do that is by research. You just have to research and see what works. And you want to make sure that your messaging is clear. So that's why those goals are super important. So people know exactly what they're coming to Instagram for when they're looking at your page. Okay. So building an audience. This is super important. Like, you can sell your product or service to everyone, but you're not going to be able to target everyone. And I know that can be difficult to do, but that's why it's important to figure out who your target audience is, and you're only going to speak to them. Other people who might be interested in your product, who aren't necessarily in that targeted audience, that's totally awesome. Like, great, they just want to interact and they like your product because they like it. But you can't, there's no way you're going to be able to speak to everyone. And to build that audience, it's not difficult, in my opinion. It's just that it takes a lot of time, and it is time consuming, and I'm not going to lie about it. When I talk to different clients, and you have to dedicate that time to see growth. And a perfect example is with my personal page. When I first started and I knew I wanted to turn it into a business, I would spend dedicated 45 minutes a night in my bed, just interacting and engaging with my community. I would find different pockets within, and for me personally, Baltimore, that I thought were a part of my targeted audience, and I went after them, and I wanted to support them organically and make sure that I'm not selling on their page, but I'm really trying to get to know them. And when you do that, when your Instagram handle shows up under someone else's page that you're just organically supporting, then people will click on your page, which then naturally brings them to your Instagram page. So I really do recommend carving out some time, even if it's 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes to really focus and spend time on social media, engaging with folks and making sure that you're posting, but really just making sure that you are engaging with that target audience that you've made. Another example is with Bushlers. They are a tailoring company, but we spend time looking, I help with the social media for that. We spend time going to Baltimore fashion, Instagram accounts, and using the hashtag, and we will comment under their pictures, support them, give them compliments. And we're not talking about Bushlers at all. It is just to engage and to really, just engage with our target audience that we've found it works. So the dedication is, example, you have to post. You can't post 1 week and then 2 weeks go by and you haven't posted anything. You might have gotten the attention of your target audience to come to your page, but then you just left them hanging. So they will forget about you. And the algorithms on Instagram are constantly changing. And if you're not posting, then people probably aren't going to see your page, your product, the things that you're trying to show them. You have to post. And goes back to engaging with your audience. Instagram is purely about engagement, in my opinion, and it's the way to gain trust, which then when you gain trust, that's when they will support you or buy your product or use you as a real estate agent or come to you for services that they might have just been able to Google, but now they've made a relationship with you on Instagram, so they trust you and want to come to you. So again, staying active, you have to post consistently, make stories, and when I talk about stories, does everyone know what a story is on Instagram? Or do I need to do the definition for that and everything? If someone doesn't, it's okay. You can just put it in the group message and we can talk about that. But basically, stories allow Instagram users to share photos and videos in their story. And these stories only last for 24 hours. If you want the story to last longer, then that's when you would make a highlight. And a highlight is something that stays on your page until you delete it. So this would be great for someone who is selling a product and they get frequently asked questions. You'd make a highlight in your stories and make it stay permanently on your page. So then when new people come to your page, they would just click on the highlight and they're able to get all the answers to their questions without having to scroll back on your feed or, send you a DM. They can just read about it in the highlights. But stories are really fun. We'll just stick with stories because the other features get a little bit more in depth. But stories are very fun because it is just kind of raw. You don't have to edit it so much. You can honestly think about stories as a backstage pass for your potential customers to see what's it like being this business owner, what's it like at your store, how do you open your store, how do you make these products. So stories can really be used for a lot. You actually can even use stories to ask your customers or your audience about like what types of things do they want to see on this page. And again, this takes time. The first week on one of those questions, or even when you post a story, you might only have 10 views. Who cares? If 10 people buy it, great. I would rather have 10 views and 7 people buy something than 1,000 and 2 people buy. So you really don't worry about the numbers. Just keep posting consistently. I promise you will see results. And then you want to make sure that you respond to all DMs. When someone sends you a direct message on Instagram, you want to reply to that as soon as possible and send something back thoughtful, even if they're just sending like a thumbs up for a story that you did or they liked something, you want to reply back to them. And also when you post on your page like a picture or a video or whatever, and someone makes a comment, you want to respond back to them, thank them, just try to keep the conversation going. This helps with engagement on your page. And then, supporting others. I think this is one that we tend to forget about. And especially with small businesses, you want to make sure that you're supporting your neighbor. And especially in a city like Baltimore, really anywhere, you want to support the people around you who are working just as hard as you are. Word of mouth is everything. I love social media to death, but word of mouth to me is still such a powerful way of letting people know about other businesses in your area. So when you support another business, I promise you it will return. And then, of course, if someone buys something and they post about your product on their personal social media page, it's always really important to repost their content. I'm not saying you have to repost their content on your actual feed because it might not aesthetically look right on your feed based on whatever it is that you're trying to make your feed look like, but you will want to repost this into your stories. I promise you, it just makes clients so happy. It makes customers happy, and then again they'll probably repost it again, and then it just really brings more brand awareness for you and more people to see your stuff. If you have a product or you offer a service, if you can do tutorials or go live, this is really, really an awesome feature that's on Instagram. Going live, interviewing someone, or showing someone how to make the product that you make, or giving them a tour of your space, or there's just so many things you can do with going live, and that's a whole nother discussion. And then the tutorials can also live on your page as well, so people can always go back and reference and know how to use the product that you've sold to them.
Alicia, we have a couple of questions in the chat about
Okay.
frequency of posting.
Mhm.
Generally, it seems like how often should we be thinking about doing that?
Yeah, so I think it really depends because some people posting on your feed does really well. So you might want to post every day. I personally say at least, 5 times a week you should be posting, but some people like Instagram stories do really well for them. So I personally think stories, you should post as much as possible in your stories because that's the thing that a lot of people are looking at. Video is doing really well. And then when it comes to your feed, we'll get into that later, but you don't have to, I know it might seem like a lot to post about your product or what you're offering, but this is where you're going to end up putting in more of that inspiration of what inspires you. This helps people get to know who you are more, and also takes the pressure off you having to feel like, oh, I'm selling all the time. If you mix in inspo, you mix in your product, mix in some video content that honestly you can take on your cell phone, then it allows people to kind of get to know who you are, and they'll come actually probably will follow your page because it's more of like a lifestyle page rather than just, oh, they're trying to sell to me every single day. Is there another question? So. Yes.
So I think for me, like when I post, I want to be able to put like a great post up and then let it breathe for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I get caught up in the likes and who's commenting on it,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to putting the content out there.
Yeah.
So like, is that a bad thing?
So I think that's the thing that a lot of us struggle with. Like we've just been kind of taught that, ooh, likes and how many people follow us and that kind of thing. I would say, and it's very hard, but you have to let it go. Like the thing is that yes, you want to look at that and kind of see like, oh, did maybe people weren't really engaging with that post and maybe I should try a different type of post. But you have to let it kind of marinate, and you're not going to know like in a day or even really a month if someone really likes that post, because you're still building your audience. So you want to try different types of posts, which I'll show you in a few more slides. But I wouldn't be too concerned with likes right now. Just try to get the content going, get a flow with that, and then later you can go back and analyze like, okay, well, this post did better, so maybe moving forward I want to focus on this type of post more because it seemed like the engagement was better on that. And also, again, with you spending time engaging with other pages or people who have supported your business, and you already know they like your stuff, just commenting on their stuff, engaging with them, you will start seeing a return on that. You'll start seeing them, they come to your page and they start posting under your content and organically sharing the things that you're posting. So you just give it time, and the likes will start coming, things like that. But at this point, you're probably still trying to figure out what posts actually work and how do you want your feed to look. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So, okay, here we go. From current page. So this is the engagement guide. I give this to my clients because and I use it all the time for myself. It helps me recenter and get back to what I'm trying to do with my Instagram page. So again, my bio, discovering your charm, it's your elevator pitch. And this can change. So it's important to constantly, revisit your bio and see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked. And then figuring out who your audience is. So using the analytics that are in your Instagram business page to help you see who the audience is, when is the best time for you to post. That information's in your insights as well. For example, I know that weekdays at 9 a.m. I do well with posts, but that's different for, per se, like Fishnet. Fishnet's food, so their posts do much better if I post for them around 12, around lunchtime. So it just really depends, and Instagram can help you figure that out. But the more you post, the more you'll be able to look at some real numbers to see what those insights are. Again, supporting your neighbors. I promise this won't dim your light. Just comment, share their stuff, recommend them to other people, and then again, giving your audience a backstage pass. I know that I spoke with someone about, hey, people want to see like how you open up this place every day, and they're like, what? They want to see me turn the lights on? I'm like, yes, they want to see put the key in the door, film it, open the door, turn the lights on, show them exactly what you do when you come into work every day. And this is the fun part. This is really just you showing your life as an entrepreneur and the things that you have to do. I am not in the process of looking for a house or anything, but my friend is a real estate agent, and I love following her page because she takes us in every house that she goes to see, and it's just fun to see it because I'm never going to go into these homes. And she takes us backstage, and it's unfiltered, and she shows us everything and talks about it freely. And so that gets people to follow her page. And I don't know how many times I recommended her to someone to buy a house from, because she's always on the top of my brain because she's constantly posting, and she's posting content that I'm interested in. And then again, staying active, engage. I cannot tell you that enough, but engaging with your audience is super important. And then again, the vibe might change multiple times on your page because you're still trying to figure it out. I personally am going through a change with my own page. Because I am seeing less engagement. So I am now changing it up soon. So that's something that you have to constantly look at as well, and give it time so then you can know you're making the right decision to move on to something else. Okay, so showcasing your product or service. So posting your product is a must. Again, we've said this multiple times, but you have to post, and you have to create content that your community wants to come back and look at. And showing this in variation, showing all variations of your product. So again, what's the vibe? But then from there, you don't want to just post flat lays of your product because that's boring, and no one wants to just see your product just laid out beautifully all the time. It's pretty, but it doesn't really get your customer or your audience to engage with you. You want people to see how to use the product, which means lifestyle shoots and videos should also be included. So it's like you have to give them a little bit of variety. You want people to visit your page regularly, and you don't want them to feel like you're selling all the time, even though you are. But we just have to find unique ways to sell without them knowing that we're selling. And then you want to reveal the behind the scenes of this product. I know a lot of people don't want to, the business is the business, and they don't want to put themselves out there. But people are so cautious about how they're spending their money now. They want to know who they're spending their money with and what does that person believe. So in some slight way, you have to show yourself. You have to let people know who you are as much as they want to learn about the product too. And the best way to do that is through your stories, your highlights, your IGTVs, your tutorials, and really kind of open up a little bit about what inspires you. So this moves into what inspires you and what does that look like? What makes you want to support a business? And when you think about those things, that's what you want to do for your page. So it really is a moment of sitting with self and just thinking about these 3 questions. And so I really would love for us to take a moment and think about, I want to see your faces, and think about those things and ask yourself, like, we don't have enough time for it. So we're just going to answer the last question, and that is, what makes you buy from like a business? What on Instagram, like when you're online, what will get you to purchase? And think about that. And then we're gonna talk about it. So I'll just give about 30 seconds for that. Oops. Okay, so does anyone want to share?
I said something that I need that I didn't know I needed. Like I bought something the other day. It was like these. It was called City. Crap. What is it called? Bonfires, and they're like these little pots with fires. And I was like, I need those.
Was it something about the page though that got you to say like, okay, you know what, I'm buying this?
Yeah, they did. They had video, and I think it was because of COVID. We're just outside more, and it was just nice to have like a little fire that you could like just sit in front of with some friends, and not like a big fire pit. And it was made in Maryland, so that kind of got me too.
I love that. So yeah, I mean, they showed how to use it. They also got you with the Maryland, Made in Maryland thing. And so those are two things that got you to buy. Anybody else?
I promise I'm not saying this because I work for a charity, but I do like to buy from companies that give back to their community in some way. And I like to kind of stay with companies that have some authenticity in their brand, whether, and it comes across in their social media. So yeah, just, companies that give back are a big proponent of mine.
I love that. Anyone else? Okay. Yeah.
I sound like such a follower saying this, but I feel like if I see my friends like eating at a restaurant or enjoying some new thing, then I think it makes it more relatable and think, oh, well, if they like it, I'll probably like it too. So sometimes that pushes me toward, picking one restaurant versus another one. If I see a friend sharing it in their story or as a post, or even if I see a restaurant reposting something like of their customers enjoying that product, it makes me feel like, oh, it's more likely that I'll like it too.
I love that. I mean, that's so true. It's pretty much a quick review without them even writing anything. So if you repost a customer that has just been to event coffee, then when someone sees that, they immediately like, oh, they must have liked that place, like I'm gonna go there. So no, that's awesome. That gets me to buy a lot of things as well. So let's see if I get back here. Okay, so these are Instagram business accounts that inspire me to purchase. So this is kind of I want to make sure I didn't skip anything. Okay, so this is another assignment I typically give to people I'm coaching. I have them really choose 5 Instagram accounts that they really enjoy. What do they like about the page? How does the brand inspire you to purchase products or service? And what techniques do they use to engage with their audience that you can take back to your own business page? Because we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. I mean, you're your own business, you have your own flair, so you can really look at pages that inspire you and take those techniques back to your own business and make it work for you. So Off the Rocks is a wine and beer store that I love their page because they are constantly showing new product in their store. They use stories well. It's nothing nothing crazy. They post about all of the new product that comes into their shop on a regular, so it really gets me excited, like, oh, I need to go try that. And a lot of times the pictures are so clear and vibrant, so you can definitely tell from their page that they wanted to make sure that it is bright, colorful. They show their products in a lot of different ways. It's not just flat lays, but they do have some flat lays. They also show people holding. The owner pops up occasionally on their feed, so then you get to know who you're actually buying from. And then Greedy Reads is a bookstore that I really love their page because yes, they are a bookstore, but they show lifestyle pictures. They also, the dog really gets me every time. Anybody who posts their pet is is good in my book. But they spend time pretty much every week showing which new books came into the store. So kind of always on your mind of like, oh, I can buy a new book. Oh, I should go support the small business. Oh, I see the owner, she's woman owned. Like I want to support this. And then they're very consistent with their posting. They don't go very long without posting. And their stories, it tends to be pretty much daily that something is in their stories. And then Glossier is a makeup company that I really like. Mind you, they sell makeup products, but their main goal that they speak up in their bio is about skin and having healthy skin. But as you can see, they don't just post about their makeup. There's a cloud there. They're giving you inspo with the water and then the dog. And you'll see this throughout their page. Yes, they have a shoppable feed, so you can actually buy product from their feed, but they also post just pictures of things that inspire them. So again, this has now turned their page from just a product store to an inspo page. And this gets people to repost images like this cloud picture, for example. They can repost that to their story, and people who are seeing that might be like, oh, those are like beautiful clouds, but then they click on the page and they're taken to this IG account that actually is a business that sells makeup that helps the ecosystem. So it just, again, brand awareness. Someone might not have ever heard of this company, but now they have. And then we move on to Mess in a Bottle. I enjoyed this Instagram page because, yes, she is selling a product that you can buy from her actual Instagram feed, but she also posts things about her family. You get to see her. But it's all cohesive. It always looks like it's supposed to be there. And then she posts things like that are quotes. So the love harder than any pain ever felt. That is something that someone can reshare. I reshare these types of posts all the time, and so do a lot of other bloggers, influencers, because one, we like the sayings, but at the end of the day, again, someone can click on there and it takes them to this actual brand that they can buy something from, which, again, brand recognition. And then with Under Armour women's page, I love this page because I see myself, there's a lot of diversity on it. And then two, there's videos. So there's these mini workouts that are really tutorials showing you how to use the product. And these are done on your iPhone. I know some of these trainers and they do it in their house. So this isn't like high quality, expensive technology that they're using. A lot of this is just setting up a camera, using a ring light, and recording themselves. So these are all things that you all are able to do as well. And then, so we move into the different types of product photography. And before we even start on this, I just wanted to say that not everyone with a camera can take the types of pictures your business might need. There's a difference between product photography and lifestyle photography. And I'm not saying that a photographer can't do both, but the question should be asked, because what you need for your business, you're gonna have to find the right photographer for that. So when it comes to flat lays, this is simply just photos of objects that are arranged on a flat surface. You see this a lot. The picture that's actually on this slide is a flat lay. And then you have individual shots, and this is pretty much like your product shot. So you a lot of times see this on websites. It's just of the product, white background, that's it. And then your lifestyle shoots are actually your shots that are going to be used, like showing your product being used. And you'll typically see this with like bloggers, if they're getting a product that was gifted to them, or it's a campaign, they're doing a lifestyle shot, a lifestyle shoot with that product. And then the scale shot, it just helps you understand the sizing. You will see this a lot with jewelry. A lot of the companies that I follow, they'll have the jewelry as like a product shot, but then they'll have a model put the earrings on, so then you can see actually how big the earrings might be on you. And then the detailed shot is going to be that close-up view of to highlight a specific feature. All of the different types, I obviously did not list, but I wanted to kind of keep it simple. And then the examples that I'm giving are not the end all be all. It's just a few for you to be able to see kind of what I'm talking about and build from there, because you always can add your own flair to these photos. So just to start with RightPad, which I love their products. They do a ton of flat lays, and it's appropriate for what they're producing with these notebooks. So that's basically what a flat lay looks like. It's really just having the product out, and it's a bird's eye view of the product. And then you have your detailed shots. This is a jewelry company that is Black owned, and a lot of their photos are zoomed in to show you that detail of the jewelry. And then at Sagamore Spheres, I found this picture that is great. It is definitely lifestyle. This person has just made a cocktail, and they are in their home, so you actually see how to use that product. And then a product shot from Oyen is just that white background showing you what the bottles look like. It's nothing special. This is probably on their website as well for you to kind of like order from there. And then the scale shot is this hydro jug. I actually have this jug, and I ordered it because of the size, and seeing it on a model really helped me understand like how big was this jug going to be. Again, another product shot, white background, you get to see pretty much just the product. And then the detail shot with the Calpac backpack, it's obviously you're not seeing the front of the product, but they want to show you this detail on the back that your bag can slide on top of the suitcase. And then another lifestyle shot. This is a hat maker out of New York City, and he constantly speaks about his hats being durable in rain and in snow. And in this post, he's actually showing him wearing the hat out on the street while it's snowing. Again, the scale shot was showing the earrings on the model, the headband, the glasses, and the mask. This is all from one company, Lily Sadoe, and you get to see what it might look like. And then again, another flat lay with Cross by Mac. It's just an overhead view of what the product is. And so, does anyone have questions about photography? No? Okay. Okay, so after all of that, you're going to want to be able to set specific goals that are measurable and achievable. So these are just your SMART goals. So after you've gone ahead, you're trying out all of these different ways. Oops, let me get this thing. These ways of posting. You're going to be able to see, okay, if you're monitoring it every week, like, oh, more people are like watching my stories. And I like to do, for as far as for the time base, like 3 months. So you want to get specific with that goal. Like, what are the things that what are you really trying to do? So for example, with Fishnet, it was that she wanted to gain more real Baltimore followers. So I set up a 3-month plan, and what that was it's going to be measurable, which is going to be weekly. So every week, checking the analytics, looking at who has started to follow you, who has unfollowed you, because you want to see who's unfollowing you as well. I'm looking at where are these people coming from, what age group are they in, and in Instagram they only allow you to see like if it's male or female. And then I kind of track those things, and then came up with a realistic goal. My realistic goal was that we're going to hit a certain amount of followers in 3 months. And this was relevant to what her goal was, because moving from College Park, she's in Baltimore and wants to get new followers here and build a community here. So then at the end of 3 months, we went and we saw, did we hit the goal? So you want to make goals like that, and you want to make these that they are achievable goals, because if you say, oh, I want to hit 10,000 followers in, a month, that's probably not going to happen unless something goes viral. We never know how things go viral. So I just don't want you to be disappointed. You want to make sure that you are making goals that are actually achievable. And then we move into, this gets a little bit more advanced. And some of you guys might actually be at this point. As of now, according to worldstream.com, there are 1 billion Instagram monthly users. So there is a big audience out there for you, and especially if you're doing things that can span outside of your community, like your direct, Baltimore, then it might be time, after you get everything else in order, to start running ads. And running ads might seem like, oh, it's going to cost a lot of money, but no, you actually can run ads on a really low budget. And you're going to want to do this through Facebook. This is why your Instagram business account should be attached to a Facebook page, because you want to be able to go into Facebook Ad Manager and really tweak the audience, especially because after you've done everything else we've discussed, you should have a better grasp on who your target audience is. And you'll be able to make ads on Facebook doing that. And you can do it where if you only want the ads to run on Instagram, then you can only have them run on Instagram, but you're still going to want to use that ad manager. You're going to be tempted to click the promote your post on Insta, but don't do that, because you're going to know who your audience is. So you want to be able to tweak that and make sure that the ads are being seen by people who are a part of your targeted audience. And then the biggest thing that I think is most important now is making your Instagram shoppable. If you're like e-commerce vendor and you can ship and all that good stuff, you want to make sure that that people can shop your Instagram feed. There was a new update that was just done recently, and now on Instagram you can go to a market, and every store, every page that you follow that has a shoppable feed is now in that link. Today I just saved like probably 5 things from that from like the Instagram market that are people that are here in the city that have shoppable feeds. So I put the link there for you to go do a little research on that. I think there's actually a promotion going on right now that you can sign up, like no fees. They're trying to get small businesses enrolled. So this is something that you might want to really look into. And then, of course, moving into partnerships with influencers, I just really highly suggest you do your research and make sure the influencer represents your brand. Becky did an awesome social media partnership workshop with Made in Baltimore, so I highly recommend you go back and look at that and review it. Any workshop she does, I'm into, because she's just awesome. So she talks a lot about that. And then the last but not least, this is discover hashtags. And using targeted hashtags on your posts and stories is still one of the best and easiest ways to get discovered. This is a way that really can translate for you to get more engagement. Example for today, this morning I was looking for a skillet. I wanted to buy a new skillet. I hashtag skillet. And I found a small business out of New Jersey, and I purchased a skillet today just from looking through hashtags. And I found this company within, like 5 minutes of searching and ordered. So hashtags are still very relevant, but it's all about choosing the right hashtag. So I wanted to ask you all to, I'm going to exit out of this. Think about if you were a baker and if you use the hashtag cake, don't look at Instagram to tell me, but how many times do you think the hashtag cake has been used? Anybody guess?
10 million.
More.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really close to. It's Lynette. I'm sorry. Yeah, says 100 million. It's been used 92 million times. So when you are thinking about using that for your hashtag, I'm not saying don't use it, but 92 million is a lot, and your post will probably get lost in the mix because that means that a ton of people are using the hashtag cake. Now, if you're a cake maker in Baltimore, you want to narrow that down. So using a hashtag like Baltimore cakes, if you look that up, it's only 20,000 people are using that. So for a person like me, your audience, that's like, I need to get a birthday cake. Let me look up who makes cakes in Baltimore. I'm going to put Baltimore cakes or Baltimore baker or whatever, and I'm going to look that up. And it's going to be much easier for me to find your business if you have more of a niche hashtag. So assignment to do for you to check out at home and try it is like look at the hashtags that you're using and pick one and try to break that down to even a more niche a hashtag. And I'm not saying that you can't use some of those really popular ones, but you want to have a mix of them to have a better chance of people discovering your page. And then the last thing is really if you just stay committed to the process, you will see positive results. A lot of times it's really the business owner that is holding themselves back because you really, really, really have to lean into social media. You have to believe that it works for you to see results. So now I'm going to open the floor up for questions. And that is it. Thank you. Let's see.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Let's head over to the chat. If you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. All right. Okay, so it looks like Lynette asks, can you hashtag too much?
So the rule now is, so you can do 30 hashtags on your Instagram feed post. You can do 10 hashtags on your Instagram stories. I would say you don't need 30 hashtags, but I would say probably start off with like 15 so that you can kind of see which ones are working, because that's something that you can look at too in your Instagram insights. You can look and see like which hashtags like we're doing well on a particular post. So I would say don't get too bogged down on that, but really kind of be intentional with which hashtags you're using. Also, there are apps out there that you can use to for them to generate hashtags that are doing well in your area as well. Okay. And they're free the majority of the time.
And it looks like from Katie, do you have any thoughts on hashtags within the caption versus posting them after? So I guess in a comment form.
No, it's just aesthetically what you like.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions? This is a safe, non-judgmental space, and we want to make sure that everything that you have in mind can get answered. I know sometimes with these certain situations, you feel like, do I want to say this? Am I going to sound crazy? You will not sound crazy. Yes, you will not sound crazy. We're all here to learn. I am learning, just like all of you are along this process. I've been writing notes down, thinking about my own Instagram. So please, if you have any questions, let us know.
I have a question. This is Kendra.
Oh, go ahead.
So you talked about a lot of people who already have a product or service that they're actually trying to promote. What if it's different where you actually if you're in the lifestyle side of things? I mean, I have a blog that I intend on building up, but essentially I don't have any actual product to promote. is really that I'm hoping for eyes, and then hope to, like, I guess, collaborate with like other people. So what should the Instagram, I guess, feed kind of like reflect if you're not actually selling anything?
Okay,
More
so
myself?
my biggest advice for you would be to choose like 5 different things that are important to you. So for myself, for example, it's like like small business, family, style, friendship, and fitness. So if you go to my page, those are like the 5 things you're going to see. So you want to make sure you're focusing on like how the businesses that have product, it's those goals. For you, you have the same thing, but it's going to be a little different. So figure out what those goals are, and you're going to want to stick to those. And then my other advice for you is engagement. Like, you really need to engage with I would start with other bloggers and other businesses that are local to you, that you like to go to, you like to support, and just really start engaging with them. So when I talked about sitting for 45 minutes and liking and leaving meaningful comments and reposting and all that good stuff, that's where I would start, and you'll see growth.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I wanted to ask about pictures. So you showed the different types of pictures. When you're going out and, like getting pictures from like a professional or something like that, how do they, like, you want all your pictures to show up, but it's like, if you're constantly showing pictures on there, how many pictures can you get from a particular photographer? I mean, like,
so it just depends.
I'm trying to figure out how to ask that question. Like, I don't know if I'm asking it right, so you understand what I'm saying.
So I'm going to try to guess. Are you saying, like, when you book a photographer, how many pictures of like your product will you get back, kind of thing?
Or, I mean, not necessarily the product, because it's like you only have a certain amount of product, but I mean like lifestyle pictures. Like, you showed the guy making a cocktail, or the guy walking with the hat on. Like, how many times can you show that picture? You want like so many pictures.
Oh, got it.
At some point, you run out of pictures.
So the thing with that is, what you'll do is, there's going to be so many different angles, right, of how the person, I'll use the cocktail making, for example. So he's holding the drink at that point. There's probably pictures of him making that drink. There's pictures of him in his kitchen picking the glass, all these different things, and that product is still somewhere in the realm of it. And what you'll do is, at that point, you have to start thinking about, what's your caption going to be? And this is where you would want to think about, how can you engage with your audience? So asking questions like, what's your business? What was your business again? It's Mitts Kitten.
Mittens.
Yes. So it might be like, let's say one of those pictures you have the mittens on, and the question might say like, oh, early morning run, like, when's your favorite time to go running, right? And then the next day you might have the same type of, like, from that same shoot, but you might be asking another question like, do you typically wear mittens, or do you like, there's just different ways of engaging with your customer and your audience, even though you might be showing similar pictures, but they're different angles, there's different like times of the day, whatever. And see, this is where it comes into adding in like those inspirational pictures as well. They might not even own those pictures. These might just be pictures that you've seen on Instagram that have inspired you, that you're going to put on your page, obviously giving credit to the original owner of it. But this is how you break up your page, if that makes sense.
Also, there's a site called Unsplash. I learned about that at the last Made in Baltimore webinar, where these are pictures that you don't have to put that you are using them. They're already licensed for you to use. It's called Unsplash. And it may not be your product, but it's some inspirational pictures, and it could have information. I mean, pictures that are relative to your genre and so it could be running, it could be people running, it could be people outside in the cold. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone wearing your mittens, but you could still incorporate those. That way you aren't using all your pictures all the time.
Right. I mean, and there's also like, I think a person who does this really well is Sage Cosmetics. She does eyebrows. So her pictures are all eyebrows. So we had a discussion and decided that, you know, like how can you use some things to inspire? So you really get to know who she is based off of the filler pictures that aren't her, like they're not like her pictures, they're just these inspirational kind of pictures like we just kind of discussed. So if you want to kind of see an example of someone who really only can show eyebrows, you can see how she's broken it up. And it looks good, you know, it's something you'll want to go to her page just for the inspo, and then you're constantly seeing eyebrows, so you're like, oh, I should get my eyebrows done. So
I would add, Susan, for the question of what you should expect from a photographer is it's kind of up to you. Like you should be able to, a professional photographer would be able to deliver whatever you ask for. So I think it's good that Alicia kind of ran through these different photo types, so you could go in and in your initial conversation with the photographer say, I'm looking for 3 flat lays, 3 details. I want like a lifestyle for like 4 different colors, and really kind of lay out a shot list in advance so you get a sense of just how many individual shots you're going to be left with. Another thing that I think is helpful in setting up shoots like that is, I mean, if possible, if you can get more than one model, you can have one model photograph looking south and another one photograph looking north, and it would look like 2 totally different locations and 2 totally different shoots. So that's another way to kind of get more bang for your buck there.
Absolutely. And if you can't think of the ideas yourself, which is totally fine, I have Becky is my photographer. And so what we do is I send her Pinterest boards of what I'm thinking I like. And it has it's completely different than what's going to, make happen. But I send her kind of like, I want this type of picture. And then we'll discuss it on our call. So, making those boards or saving pictures that you see on Insta as inspo and saying like, like that's cool. Like I want to do something similar. Then the creativity of between you and your photographer, you guys can do something and make it yours.
That's a great idea, because that's the thing. It's like, I know, like in my head, I know what I want, but I don't know how to describe it. But going in with inspirational pictures is definitely a good idea, because that would have never crossed my mind.
Absolutely. You think of like your Instagram page, your Instagram feed, you can spend time even like making a mood board. This is getting into something completely different, but I think on the branding workshop, don't quote me, but I think she talks about that, like the actual mood board of like, what is it for winter? Do you want your feed to look like for the next 3 months? And then the color changes when it starts getting to spring, and what's it going to look like for the next 3 months? And there's tools I think that Becky's going to go over next week about like scheduling out your posts. There's so much, like I don't want to get into all of that because it's going to end up feeling like a lot, but it really is like, don't make it hard. Just go on Pinterest, get your mind going, and you can kind of go from there and make it your own, because you're your own flair. It's going to come out being you anyway. Anyone else?
All right. First, can we all give Alicia a nice round of applause, please? That was honestly a super informative workshop for me, and I feel like I myself have worked with a lot of clients over time with their own social media, and I found myself like learning so many new things myself. So I hope everyone else was able to gain that same sort of feeling. We are going to close down for today. I want to thank all of you for coming, for being a part of this. Again, this is all being recorded, so you will have access to all of this information later on. If you are signed up for our newsletter, you will get alerted when this goes live on our website. Andy, is there anything else you would like to tell the good people?
Thanks again, Alicia. And just a reminder that we've got another workshop next week with Becky Stavley, again from Our Endless Adventure. The topic The exact title of it is eluding me at the moment, but Brian, do you recall next week's subject?
So the subject of next week
I think it's like
is
4
going to-
tools to like scheduling or some, save you time or something.
It's crafting the
It's a good one.
crafting the perfect social media post.
That's right. That's right. So watch out for that one. We're promoting it on our Instagram. Speaking of, so you can sign up there. And yeah, please, if you're not already on our mailing list, consider signing up. You can do so at madeinbaltimore.org. Otherwise, have a great weekend, everybody.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You all have a good one.